I've loaded up snapshot 9 of 26.3. That's the update that we're in right now, because I've updated barely default to that version. Stuff like I've added fences for the poplar wood, you know, we'll get right into it. So yeah, that's one simple thing, custom fence UV. But updated poplar stuff also means stuff like poplar doors, you know. I gave all my doors a 3D model, and I did that too for the poplar doors, and I guess it's pretty tame. Well, this is not. This window is like, there's like a real statement piece for the style of the door. I had to get used to it for a little bit because it's very different, and you'll see in a minute that this 45-degree angled square like this, it has become a real theme of the poplar wood set. I've gotten rid of the fishbone pattern, at least on the singular door. So in vanilla, the poplar doors have a I don't know, the fish spine in the very middle of the door, and then there's the fish bones on both sides. I don't know, I thought it looked kind of messy. It's like a little bit too much detail crammed into a small texture, but I still wanted to keep that. It's basically the only theme that poplar has in vanilla, right? This fish bone stuff. I kept it by just doing it across the two doors. So if you have one door, it's just going to be asymmetrical. It still has like a lot of symmetry going on, I think, apart from the literal lines that are asymmetrical, but that works. We don't have too many asymmetrical doors, so I think that's fun. And then obviously when you put two together, you know, you get the fish bone. So that's still there. I thought this was a cool, slick way to barely defaultify the doors. And I've done the same for trap doors, you know, gave him this angled cube again. You can use it to kind of create lanterns like this. I mean, use it as you'd like. You know, this is the theme of the poplar wood now. The fish bone is still in there. It's just a bit more subtle. And I think that works. I think it works pretty well. And then we have poplar signs, which I've given a custom texture. I've reworked all the signs, okay? So Mojang did this new thing where signs, instead of being entities like they were before, they now have block models. I decided to rework my sign texture for all signs. And as you can see in building, I think it's pretty nice. You could do a mangrove sign, right? And you get this nice trim. I think it's a nice texture. I think builders will be able to utilize this in the same way that they use signs in vanilla. But now it's a pixel consistent texture, so that fits my pack. And I've made it a little bit bigger. It's 1 pixel bigger, half a pixel on the top and half a pixel on the bottom, which I think levels out the text a lot better on signs. I mean, yeah, I mean that's why I've done that. Same thing goes for hanging signs, but my 3D model is just 3D chains, and other than that, I didn't change much. Something else that Mojang allowed now is we can add a custom texture for the sign GUI. So I did that first of all to update it to look like my own sign texture, but then I also kind of gave it this semi-HD look. You know, just kind of misaligned the pixels, added a little bit of an emboss to it. It's a bit more subtle, but you can see the chains there, you know? They're like pixels within pixels. I think it's cool. Something else Dappled Forest themed is a custom red shrub model. First of all, I made it a bit bigger. Funny thing about the crops in Minecraft is that they're kind of like stretched always. They're stretched out. I think the philosophy is that, like, because it's on an angle, that it blends better with the game if it is stretched. I don't know if I agree with that. Like, I really notice if I look at the floor and the pixels of the red shrub are like a different size than the pixels of a grass block, then that really stands out to me. I try to make all the plants in Minecraft. I do it for everything, like also flowers like oxeye daisies. In vanilla Minecraft, the texture is kind of stretched, and you're used to it. You don't even notice it if you play vanilla, right? But yeah, in my pack, I've gotten rid of that stretching, and that actually makes the plant smaller, right? Because it's stretched out. So in vanilla, all plants are kind of like bigger, and to compensate, I kind of upgraded the red shrub model a little bit. I literally just took the red shrub texture and just kind of bigged it. Because I like the texture, I want to keep it as is. I mean, I don't know, it's new to me anyway, so even the vanilla texture is kind of exciting. It's just that I gotta get rid of that stretching and then make it back bigger, you know, so it still fits within the hitbox and stuff, so it feels right. So yeah, red shrub updates, red shrub dates. And we'll go into my little poplar house, because I also have some renames. Oh, whoa, I mean, this is a big one that I really like. The poplar clock. On my pack, you can just take any clock, you know, any clock item that you craft. You can. So this works in survival, and you just call it any wood type, right? And then it turns into this item. And if you hang that in an item frame, then you have these wall clocks, as you can see, and I have it for all wood types. And because I've got this angled thing going on for the poplar wood, and I kind of want that I want to amplify that, or like establish it, I guess. I did that for the clock too, you know, kind of have plenty of clocks in that style, not so many with angled elements. So yeah, that's this one, the poplar clock, and it's pretty cool. These items, you know, these wall clocks, they're fully functional. You know, if you put them in an item frame with a block below, you won't see the dangling thingy, right? The pendulum. So you can also use it as just a desk clock, and then you could even put like a pressure plate here, right? Since the item frame is like right there against the glass block. So if you change the time of day, we'll do it right now. The clock will just update. There's no problems about it. It fully works. So I think this is a great decoration piece. I use this in all my bases. Wow, look at this. Limited edition solid emerald wandering trader. So this is a totem of undying. This is based on a tweet posted on the official Minecraft Twitter. So dumb. They made a dumb tweet, but and they had a really long name for this thing, and I thought having a rename with a really long specific name is funny. So it's canon. It's based on a meme tweet, and then a few other Totem of Undying renames that I added for no real lore reason. Check this out. Okay, so we have the little beak. Okay, so this is based on my bird, and instead of in your hand, it's on your shoulder. And it just kind of looks around, so it's animated. It looks like a real budgie, like a real parakeet. Look, it's looking around, just chilling with you. And then also its wings. So there you go. Sometimes it just does this, like, because they do that. Okay, they do that a lot. I don't know why they do it. It's just got some steam to blow off or something. No lore reason at all. And look, he sits on the thingy a little bit. It's just that I love this little bird that we have in real life so much, but you can't really express it to a bird. You know, you'd almost like want to like hug it, but they don't want to be touched. They're very sensitive to it. So I don't know. How do you express the love for the bird? I think art is pretty good. Trying to convey the energy of the bird with very few pixels is fun. And there's a couple of different colors of these as well. Okay, because budgies come in a bunch of colors. So there's the sky little beak, and then we have the snow little beak, which is fully white, and then the bush little beak, which is kind of just a little bit of a different color scheme. And I added one more cool rename this update, and it is the Biotic rifle. So this is originally from Overwatch. You just reload it, you get an arrow in it. Look, you actually look through the scope, kind of. You see that? Pretty cool. And yeah, then you fire your weakness arrow, and you can roleplay being Ana from Overwatch. And it's a cool motto, I think. You know, I love a good sniper rifle. And if I do a sniper rifle, and I gotta add this. Okay, so check this out. This is really cool. If you have an arrow loaded in it, and you have it in your main hand. Okay, so this doesn't happen if you have it in your offhand. Look at me. I'm gonna crouch now. Nothing happens. But if I have it in my main hand, and I crouch, check this out. So it gets the sniper overlay, which I love. I think that is so cool. It does nothing. It does not zoom in at all. Which is, I can't do that. Like, what this is it just changes the model of the sniper rifle when you're crouching and you have it in your main hand and you have an arrow loaded to this overlay that's just really close to your face, but it doesn't zoom. So it's literally just for immersion, but I think it works for immersion. You know, I have fun with this, you know, like sniping around. Pull up your scope, you know. It's like like artist focused mode, right? You kind of don't see the sides anymore. You can focus on your target and what's in the middle. It's kind of like Spider-Man's glasses, right? Spider-Man is basically just a mega artist. Just a normal crossbow. So you can get it as a sniper. So that's pretty cool. And in Overwatch, every character and their weapons have a bunch of skins. So I also added a bunch of renames for the Biotic rifle. You want it in red? You call it the Garnet Biotic rifle. Oh, I really like this one because it kind of has this copper theme going on, which is like loosely accurate to Overwatch, but I took a little bit of creative liberties, right? If I can match him with Minecraft lore. Even if you're not a fan of Overwatch, I think these are very cool renames. And all of them get this cool scope. Lang file changes. There's a bunch of them, but first off, let's go into the simple stuff, like the Poplar Catkin. This is a reskinned and renamed poplar sapling. In my pack, all the trees drop acorns, or maybe not acorns, but like tree seeds, you know? You know, the poplar tree just needed an acorn. And if you plant it, it just becomes a regular poplar sapling again. So it's purely the item, you know, just so the trees don't drop little trees, I guess. And as I do with all my tree seeds, I added a custom state for if the tree is about to grow. So in Minecraft, all trees have this in vanilla. They just don't have a model for it. Trees have an extra stage for if they're about to grow big. And I add a custom model for that. If you have a bunch of poplar saplings next to each other, then the one that's furthest will stick out like this. So that's some information for you, right? That I can include and definitely will. I renamed the poplar leaves. So the red poplar leaves are now cyanidin poplar leaves. Then we got the orange poplar leaves, which have become flavone poplar leaves. And then the yellow ones have become lutein poplar leaves. I assume that's how you say it. I don't really know, but yeah, some pretty quirky names. The logic behind this is that they're not dyed, okay? And red, orange, and yellow, that's just kind of dull. Like, call me quirky, but that's just, I don't know. We also have the corals. They have a unique name. I guess their name, you could loosely get their color from the name, like fire. Maybe you would assume that it would be orange or red, right? If you hear that name. Bubble is just completely random. Tube, completely random. Brain, yeah, okay, I guess brains are pink. Okay, so that's fine. And then horn, you know, like a tuba, like with brass, yellow. Okay, fine. But for the most part, they have unique names. They're not just called red coral, yellow coral, you know, like, I don't know. I just thought I'd try something else. And this is based on the protein molecules. I mean, I think let me know. This is the best I could come up with, the best thing I could find to name them after. That causes the leaves to turn the color. Once leaves go autumny, or at least they get colored by maybe a tree just has a certain color, then it's caused by certain proteins, molecules, and that's what they're named after. So teaches you something a little bit, I guess. For me, it's more like having a unique name. Kind of like the froglights too. You know, you got ochre and then verdant and pearlescent. And pearlescent, you know, that could be anything. Because I guess it's pretty purpley, but for the most part, pearlescent means multiple colors, no? That's what I associate with pearlescent anyways. Verdant, I know that means green, but as a non-native English speaker, I wouldn't have known that naturally anyways, right? If they add a verdant froglight, then to me it's like, okay, fine, that's green, but it might as well just be a random label, right? And then ochre, you know, I mean, that's a color, that's fine, but yeah, like, this is also vague to me as a non-English speaker, okay? That's all I'm trying to say. So as a non-native English speaker, these don't feel like, I don't know, like overly technical names or anything. They just feel like a name like verdant, you know, like a word that I wouldn't necessarily know, you know, before it enters my universe through Minecraft. And like many things, like even glass being smelted from sand. That's like real world knowledge. Like not in a furnace like that, but like super simplified. But you know what I mean? So yeah, these just feel like quirky names. Flavone, Chef's Kiss. I love Flavone. And here we are, you know, new names for the poplar leaves. Like, whatever, okay? If you're searching in the... Are you searching red poplar leaves? Well, now you can't, okay? If you want the leaves to show up, you search poplar. Or you type lutein. Oh, yeah, you'll probably have noticed this is my bushy leaf model. The leaves in my pack are like bushy, but they're really subtly bushy. Because I like bushy leaves, but I hate it if there's like a cross model in the middle of a block and it's just kind of like, it stands out, you know, because you have the clashing pixels. And as you can see, I don't even have it on every leaf block, okay? I have it on every other leaf block. They're not even all bushy, but overall, I think it does make the silhouette of a tree a lot more natural. Because you just get a chance of some leaves sticking out. Right, like this tree right here, it's gonna have some leaves sticking out, which takes away how square and cubic they are a little bit, right? Not too much, because it's still Minecraft. They don't need to be fully round, but it can also create nice scenes like this, you know, where the leaves just kind of hang over the adjacent block, and then the shading here just completely messes it up. But for the most part, I think this is a great little feature. It's subtle, you know, you hardly notice it, but that's how I like it. You know, I don't need it to be too in your face, too advanced all the time. Then we got a few more quirky lang stuff. First of all, we'll do the creative tabs, okay? So I've changed the names of some of the creative tabs, basically. So this used to be colorful blocks, I'm pretty sure. Now it's dyed blocks. I mean, these are a bunch of colorful blocks, but they are literally all dyed blocks, you know? Like, there are more colorful blocks in the game. So it is dyed blocks. It's a bit slicker. It's literally a shorter word. So there you go. Then this tab was called natural blocks. I changed it to organic blocks. I don't know, just a nicer word. Maybe it's just because I can change it. That's why I did it. Natural would have been fine. But yeah, that's what I did. This tab was called functional blocks. Now it's utility blocks. Does it make more sense? To me, a little bit. I don't know. Again, I'm not a native English speaker, so here I am, like, curating which words are best. So if I'm wrong, let me know, I guess. But yeah, I thought it was a bit nicer than functional blocks. And these are definitely utility blocks, right? They behave in some way. And that's exactly the same as functional. I just like this word more. Redstone blocks. I just changed it to redstone. I mean, it is all blocks. There's only the redstone item in there. But fine. It's called the tab redstone. Tools and utilities. Change it to tools and equipment. Basically just because I didn't want to have the same word multiple times. So this is utility blocks now. So tools and utilities. Change it to tools and equipment. Fine. Works for me. That's more my lingo anyways. Like, I wouldn't naturally call a pickaxe a bucket or a fishing rod a utility, right? I would call it equipment. And I know that they can be considered utilities, but this is more about me, I guess, you know, my personal preference. The food tab, changed it to consumables, which isn't the word, I don't think, but that makes sense to me. And then I changed this tab to spawning, because it isn't just eggs, it's also other blocks. And then operator utilities, changed it to operator exclusive, just because I wanted to have the word utility exclusive to this tab. Okay, so some pretty anal lang changes, but if you think those are anal, then check these out. Okay, so my trees have grown, which is probably good, right? Because we're in the shade now. It's very relevant. If we go into video settings, then we have the brightness shader. Okay, so I can change the text that appears here. Okay, I can change these numbers. That's just like numbers. But yeah, the text in the middle too, at 50%, and at max as well. I changed it. So at max, it now says easy mode, simply because this is how I know for a fact a lot of people play this way, because everyone's like trying to, I don't know, optimize max or whatever. You know, everyone wants, you want all the advantages you can have. It's all fine. The debate is completely trite, because you can play however way you want. If you want to play with a data pack that adds a recipe for dirt into diamonds, you're completely free to do it. But in my opinion, Minecraft as a game, there's supposed to be friction, right, in the game. Because then, you know, you're basically in creative mode, all right? That's my 2 cents on it. So in survival, this is too bright. Okay, max brightness is just too bright. Like if I go in a cave right now, I can just see everything. Like I understand that it is still really dark, but I literally wouldn't need torches, right? I wouldn't really miss any ore, right? I can see this very clearly, especially in my pack, because I have 3D ores. So all ores already really stand out. Like you're missing 0 ores, okay, at max brightness. Even though as of recording this, it seems kind of dark. But let's turn it to the actual darkness that I think you're supposed to play in, right? That's why I changed the text to true survival. Look, you see nothing, okay? You see, and you still see the diamonds, but you see nothing else. And I think that's how you're supposed to play it, okay? And people tell me like, yeah, but there's the sun on my screen. And I'm like, yes, I understand. But the game is, you get coal so that you can explore cave. You're not supposed to find yourself in a cave like this unprepared. You're not supposed to just fall into a hole unprepared. The game is, you know, progressing. You get coal ore, and then you run through your torches real quick, because caves are big. You have to go back. My coal has run out, right? You have to get more coal. But this is so much more atmospheric. I can still see the ores in the distance, literally with this dark mode. And that is still my pack. My pack, you know, because of the 3D models, they just stand out. Spider eyes in the dark are much creepier. I have no idea what ores are anywhere. I see like a faint glow in the back, like, so I want to navigate there. And any torch I place reveals more materials. Like any torch I place could reveal ores. There could be ores right above me that I'll never find until I go to this cave for like the 60th time, because this is my default cave. And then suddenly for whatever reason, I do end up placing a torch here, and I'm like, wait, there's been diamonds here the whole time, you know? Like that's the game, you know, to me. And yeah, forcing my silly gamer beliefs onto people through this brightness bar, just to remind people this is the true survival way. And then I call it the 50%. I call it cat eyes, you know, cat eyes, because you're in a cave. There's no, listen, if you're in a cave, it's supposed to be pitch black. If there's no light coming in, if there is no light sources, and there is no like skylight access to the roof, it'll be pitch black, right? Like creatures evolve in caves blind. And I understand that in Minecraft, I don't know, creepers aren't blind, skeletons aren't either, but whatever. Like the immersion for me is definitely darkness. And yeah, even 50% brightness, like I guess you can play like this, but this is still not pitch black. And to me, it really is supposed to be pitch black. Okay, so that's just a little rant about how I think you maximize your fun in Minecraft, like in terms of it being a game, and there's supposed to be a little bit of friction. The friction of darkness is really good. Mob spawn in the dark, you put torches down, you know. And also if you're playing on a server, I hate it when you notice people play with packs like Fulbright, because they just burst into a cave and they bring 0 torches, and then they just keep dying or whatever, because they're not invested into the game either, and they lose their shit all over again, and it never becomes safe. The path that they walk never becomes safe because they don't put down the torches, you know. Like, I don't know. This becomes such a large, stupid segment now. But yeah, that's it for this update. It's a really big update. I did a bunch of bug fixes too. I used this program called PNG Gauntlet. If you're a creator, pack maker, I really recommend you look into it. As I pack make, then my files just accumulate kilobytes of data, right? Like little crumbs of access data that they don't really need. And then I never create a PNG in my pack. I never do, like, I don't even know how you create a PNG. Like if I need a PNG, I'll copy it from another texture that I have in the pack, because I have like 15,000 from the nearest location, and paste it in the folder that I need it, and then rename it and alter it into whatever I need, right? But if you keep doing that, you'll also keep copying over the metadata of files, right? Or whatever. I don't even really know how it works. But the point is that I used the program PNG Gauntlet. You guys should check it out. And I stripped like 9 megabytes of data from my files, lossless. Okay, so this doesn't affect the quality of any textures at all. This was just trailing data that was just there, okay? So that didn't serve anyone or anything. And yeah, the pack should be faster to download. It's funny when you look at the cursor for downloads as well, because it says the file size, and you just see like my pack keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then there's suddenly one drop-off point where it's like, oh, gets really small, and you wonder what happened. Like, did I remove a bunch of files? And no, I did not. I just shaved a bunch of files, you know, frictionless, no more hair, no more, yeah. Okay, Thanks for watching. This is, yeah, big update. And a bunch of bug fixes too. I hate having bugs in the pack, but it happens. I don't know how it happens. Maybe it's just my playstyle. Just how I play. Sometimes I don't run into certain mechanics and stuff might be broken for a while. So please let me know anything you find that's broken, okay? Don't uninstall the pack without telling me, because I want to fix it. It is my intention to have a completely fixed pack. And it should be a lot cleaner now. So, like, subscribe, and tell your friends about this cool, fun pack that keeps getting bigger and then suddenly gets a lot smaller. While still getting bigger. Isn't that fun? Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah. Have a nice day.